Hey there, I'm meteorologist Rick DeLuca. Winter is wasting no time. Accumulating snow the other night, a pause today, and then we have more accumulating snow, which is set to arrive over the weekend. So I know it's Friday, just after 9 o'clock here. Hopefully everyone had a good day, ready for the weekend, just to relax, kick your feet up, maybe do a little snow cleanup depending on where you are. But honestly, the crews have been great. Getting out, salting, brining, and then plowing all of the snow. So shout out to all of them. So we're going to do a quick little video talking about what's next. And it does include more accumulating snow, dangerous cold, and I'm going to break down the two of those. So first things first, we're going to give just a minute to let some people get in here. What I need you to do is a couple of favors, and this is going to be a shameless plug. But if you are joining me on Facebook, then I need you to go to my page and click like. So that way, every time I go live, you get alerts and you know when to kind of tap in and join the conversation. The other thing I need you to do is go ahead and share the video. And if you can do those two things, I would be in debt to you. So much great thankfulness for you doing both of those things. We got a lot to talk about. And we're going to start with the fact that we got 4.6 inches of snow here in Louisville. When you add up all the snow so far, and we're only 12 days into December, we have 9.9 inches of snow. 9.9, and that puts us right now at the 5th snowiest December on record. Crazy stats, and we still have plenty of time to go. So we're going to give this a second here and let everyone share the video, join the conversation. I see Robert's already in here. Hey, Rick, what do you see for Orleans in regard to the snow? So here's the deal. We're going to go through a couple of maps. We're going to talk about the winter weather advisory, the cold weather advisory. We'll go through advanced track, future radar, you know what it is, and kind of show you how we're going to go through the weekend with the hour-by-hour breakdown. And then at the very end, because we got to save the best for last, we're going to show you snowfall totals. So, Robert, I'm going to be helping you out there. Angie says hello. Gina is watching from Clarksville. So go ahead, share the video, get some more people in here, and we're going to go through snowfall totals first. Who lives in Starlet, Indiana? Anybody? Anybody? I mean, you were buried in snow. 7 inches of snow in Starlight, Indiana. Hopefully your back's okay, because that was the wet, heavy snow that takes a little strength and time to shovel away. French Lick picked up 6.5 inches of snow. Over a half foot of snow for you in French Lick. You know, I'm sure the kids are loving it. So many videos of them out there sledding today, playing snowball fights, and this was that really good packing snow, but temperatures were in the 30s today, which means we saw a lot more melting. Now, the snow that we saw last night is going to be a lot different than the snow that we see Saturday night. So Thursday night and Saturday night, very two different types of snow. Last night, it was wet, it was really heavy, and it was kind of clunky and slushy, whereas on Saturday night, it's going to be a lot colder. So what that means, it's going to be light, it's going to be powdery, kind of fluffy, something I like to call confectionery sugar snow. That's what it's going to be like, with basic accumulations, which are definitely favoring our northeastern counties. If you think that what you saw last night will amount to what we're going to get on Saturday night, just cut that off. It's not worth it. They're not even going to be close in comparison of accumulations. But we're going to go through more of how much to expect. In the meantime, we're still getting through what fell. E-Town, 2.7 inches of snow, and Litchfield got 1 inch of snow on the button. So first things first, winter weather advisory. This one starts at 1 p.m. on Saturday and will last until 7 a.m. on Sunday. Louisville, you are not included in this one, okay? It's 13 counties. It goes from Shelby, Oldham, Clark, from Washington through Orange County, and then Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings, Scott, Jefferson of Indiana, and also Trimble, Henry, Carroll. Those are the counties included within this winter weather advisory. If you have travel plans late Saturday and you plan on hopping on 65, going north, or 71 and traveling off to the north and east towards Cincinnati, Indy, this is something you have to consider, because you will encounter snow, and since it's cold, this snow is going to quickly cover up the roads once again. So again, travel plans late Saturday, north or northeast, you have to keep this in mind. If you're going to hop on 65, go south to Nashville, you really have nothing to worry about. But what I would suggest, if you're going somewhere, pack a lot of layers, because it's going to be brutally, painfully, and dangerously cold for the second half of the weekend. We've covered the first part, the winter weather advisory. And let's see, and again, if you're commenting in here and you want to report how much snow you saw in your location, because I only have so many basic spots I can fill in that graphic, go ahead. We got Lisa saying she got 5 inches in Bedford, Indiana. Lisa, thanks for that report. This is the other side of the story. It's not just the fact that we'll see wintry weather. It's the cold that follows. This is the first cold weather advisory of the season. And I always like to say, when these come out, you need to know the 3 Ps. The 3 Ps? Yeah. So we're talking about people. Be a good neighbor. Check in on those next to you. Make sure they have everything they need. The heat's working. There's plenty of food in their house. Also, pipes. This is the time of year and the kind of cold we have where if you're not dripping your faucets, especially with those pipes that are along the exterior of your house, they can freeze up and cause a lot more damage than it's worth. So the simple solution is always, always, always keep a little drip going. And if you want to go an extra step, sometimes what I like to do is go ahead and open some of the cabinets to let a little more air flow around those pipes. So for example, in my house, the kitchen sink is banked up right against a brick wall. And under there, it gets seriously cold quick. So what I like to do is keep a little drip going and also have those doors open just to allow for some extra warm air to get in there. Now, this is the cold weather advisory, and this is danger level cold. We're talking about wind chills, which could be 10 below 0, not above, 10 below. This goes into effect Sunday at 1 a.m. and will last until 1 p.m. on Sunday. Now, let's say if you're like, all right, I live in Carroll County. I live in Adair County. Well, Adair County is not included. But if Carroll County, if you're saying, what should I do? Trust me, act as if you are under this advisory because the cold's not going to be any different. It really depends more on snowpack than anything else. The thicker the snowpack, the colder those temperatures will be. And now let's start to get into advanced track a little bit. So overnight, there's no problems. There's no snow. It's going to be cold with temperatures dropping back into the upper 20s, which I would urge you to use caution on bridges, on overpasses, the on and off ramps, because any melting we saw today with temperatures in the upper 30s, that's going to refreeze, cause some black ice and slick spots. Just please use caution out there tonight if you have any travel plans. But thankfully, when you look up, nothing's going to be falling from the sky. You don't have to worry about that. Some people also hopping in here. Adam saying Taylorsville. Adam also saying his wife said about 5 or 6, but wasn't really sure. And happy Friday from Southville. So we're getting into advanced track now. Keep the comments coming. I want to get through the Q&A once we get to the end of this. You see around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, there's a front. And this has true Arctic air, which made the trip all the way down from Canada into our area. And the winds will flip direction. You see those little white barbs? Those are basically the arrows that show which direction winds are coming from. Behind that front, they flip over to the north and to the west, and that allows temperatures to not rise. They do the opposite. They fall tomorrow into the upper 20s, and by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, what you are seeing is some snow now spreading into southern Indiana. And if you live in Louisville, start time is going to be around 6 to 7. This is going to be a light, powdery, steady snow for a couple of hours. Around 9 to 11, we go from more of a steady snow over to more snow shower kind of action. And between 11 o'clock and midnight, that pulls off to the east and then completely out of our area. What fills in behind it is the painfully cold stuff. Check out these numbers. The white is your air temperature, and the blue is your wind chill. Sunday morning, if you want to go into hibernation, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to get outside in this either. Single-digit temperatures, around 7, and that wind chill is about 7 degrees below 0. This is when that cold weather advisory goes into effect. You don't want to be outside for long periods of time. You can get frostbite, hypothermia. It's just not worth the risk. So what you really want to do is if you have to go out, you really want to bundle up all the winter gear, the hat, the gloves, the scarf. Make sure you cover up any sort of exposed skin. And then by the afternoon, after some morning flurries, even though we're dry and you may get breaks of sun, temperature only make it to around 10 to 15 degrees. Now, if we don't crack 15, we will actually set a record for the date, a cold high. That's 15, and we could very well be below that with the wind, with the fact that clouds will block some sun for a portion of the day, and with that thick snowpack. Now, let's see how long this dangerous cold can last. So once we move into early next week, we start to push that out of here, and that's something I'm going to cover more coming up on WDRB News, but come on in. Last call for snowfall over here. This is what you want to see. Once again, this is not the snow that we saw last time, but some powdery accumulations are certainly possible to freshen things up. So what I need you to do is find your location, pick it out on this map, and then we're going to go through how this is coded when it comes to the legend and what I've drawn on here. The light gray, which includes Louisville, that's for areas like Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, Taylorsville, E-Town, Washington, Marion, through Hardinsburg into Radcliffe, Corden. You could see up to 1. That's it. Anything from a dusting to about 1 inch of snow. Now, in that white stripe, once you get into southern Clark County, we go from under 1 to 1 to 2. That includes Charlestown, Paoli, locations like Salem, LaGrange, Newcastle, Eminence. You are all in that 1 to 2 stripe, and it's not going to snow terribly long or as long as it did Thursday night, but a couple hours of snow Saturday evening and overnight. Your eyes probably go to that lighter shade of blue. North and east, you're going to might have to break out your shovel once again, or you know what? This is kind of different. I would suggest the leaf blower because it's going to be way easier. It's going to burn fewer calories to just turn on a leaf blower and get rid of some of that snow. Since it's so light and powdery, the stuff we had last night, you had to shovel it because it was just so wet and heavy that method probably wouldn't work. Now, I also want to point one thing out. The 2 to 4 from Seymour, Madison to North Vernon, but there's also a 4+ stripe, which is not in our area, but it's very close. With this being about a little less than 24 hours away, we still need a little time to make some adjustments and kind of fine-tune this forecast, massage it, if you will, which means there's going to be some subtle changes. I can promise you before the 10 o'clock news comes on, I'm going to be looking at the new data, making tweaks to this map to make sure it is as accurate as humanly possible. And you know how it is with snow. It's a tricky forecast, especially when you're talking about colder temperatures, because the snowfall ratios are higher. What do I mean by that? Well, it requires less liquid to create more snow. In a typical scenario, 1 inch of liquid would produce 10 inches of snow. Well, this one could be more to an 18 to 1 ratio, so it doesn't take as much liquid to produce more snow. So once again, take a look at this map, and what I'm going to do now is allow you to go ahead and ask some questions. So I'm going to leave this up just so you can kind of see how much snow to expect, and I will do my best to answer your questions. So let's see what's going on. Jessica, she is saying Carroll County, 5 inches. Is that how much you got, or are you asking what you're looking at in this next one? You could help clarify that, Jessica. I would love that. Nicole's saying she's not happy Xfinity doesn't show Louisville Station in her area anymore. Nicole, I'm so sorry. Hopefully, having these live videos can supplement that and get your weather needs here. We are here for you every step of the way, but I'm sorry that you're dealing with that kind of issue. Let's see. Gina saying, how likely is this to move further south like yesterday did? Well, so this one's going to be kind of tough. There are some models that are trending south, and there are other high-res ones that are starting to trend a little bit north. I would say I'm going to stick with this for now. Again, I'm going to make adjustments. Both are options, unfortunately, but because we're seeing some differences in models, I don't like to jump to one or the other. I'd rather hold steady and kind of keep what I have for the time being, unless I see anything major when it comes to shifts. So for now, we're keeping it where it is. It will be higher in Louisville. Travis says that. Whatever you say, Travis. Bobby saying how much for the Lexington, Indiana area. Okay, so Lexington, Indiana. Looks like you're probably going to be closer to the 2 to 4 range for you. So, Bobby, I hope that helps you out a little bit. Again, I would say at a bare minimum 2. That's what you're going to see out of this one. We like to use ranges, and you have to look at both the high and the low number. But I'm pretty comfortable saying you will at least get 2 inches of snow where you are. Okay, we have Michelle. Would you cancel evening plans for tomorrow if you were in Louisville between 6 and 9? It really depends on how you feel. We're gonna see snow. It doesn't come with crazy wind, meaning it's whiteout blizzard conditions with snow blowing in your face. But if you don't feel comfortable driving on the snow, and if you don't really have good tires with a lot of tread, I wouldn't recommend it. I hate to cancel people's plans and say it's not worth it, but I really would recommend just playing it safe. And again, if you're not worried about driving in the snow, then you're going to be okay. But with under 1 inch of snow, it's not going to be a lot. But since it's so cold, the snow that does fall will stick. Now, I do want to just mention there's a lot of salt on the roads, a lot of salt. So that should really help bite into some of that snowfall, at least on main interstates and let's say 64, 65, 71. But if you're going to take a lot of back roads, that's going to be a different story. Bobby saying, thank you, sir. You are very welcome, Bobby. Thanks for checking in with us. Janet, yes, the third P is for pets. And you're right, Janet. People, some people don't bring their pets inside. I've got a dog myself, my dog Hank, and I left him outside for a minute too long, and he was barking at me the other night. So I was like, just wait until Sunday morning, when you go outside to use the restroom. How much for Lebanon, Kentucky? You are looking at, James, less than 1. Or that was from Ruth. So Ruth in Lebanon, Kentucky, you're looking at less than 1 inch of snow. And it's going to be real fluffy stuff, too. Elizabeth joining us from Bardstown. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. James saying his son gets off from Amazon at 6:30 a.m. in New Albany. What will the roads be like? So 6:30 a.m. Is that tomorrow morning? To clarify, James? Tomorrow morning, you're good. And 6:30 a.m., if it's Sunday morning, means the crews would have plenty of time to get out and clean any snow that is on the ground. But New Albany is in the under 1, very close to the 1 to 2. But even then, it's still not going to be enough to really cause any major problems by 6:30 in the morning, regardless of whether it's Saturday or it's Sunday. Bonnie's asking about Radcliffe, Kentucky. So right now, Bonnie, I have you in under 1 inch of fluffy snow. And like I said, this is going to be the leaf blower stuff that you can just turn that on and knock it right off your car. Adam asking if you should sprinkle salt on the walkway or save it for margaritas. How about both, Adam? I'd do both, buddy. I would do the salting first and then the margaritas. If I had to pick an order for you, do one, then the other. That's from personal experience. And let's see. So Wolf is asking about guessing this snow is going to be the tip of the iceberg for winter. I will say, for Christmas itself, it does look like we're going to get a lot warmer. In fact, we don't have to wait till Christmas. By the middle and end part of next week, it's going to get a lot warmer, which means the snow that we see now and we will see for parts of the area tomorrow night will start melting and then eventually get washed away. And temperatures are looking warmer toward the end of December, which I know for Christmas lovers and you want to have a little snow around, it's looking less and less likely that we'll have temperatures cold enough to sustain or even support another opportunity for snow later on in the month. But there's still January and February to go. So we have plenty of time to go in terms of snow, but the second half of December, certainly not as active as the first. I feel like, just winter came out swinging this time, wasting no time with several systems of accumulating snow, with another one which will show up Saturday night. So again, yes, winter's come on strong. Hang in there. There is some warmth which shows up, and it does look like that's going to play out for the rest of December as well. Teresa saying, how about E-Town Sunday? Teresa, first off, thank you. You send in so many beautiful pictures all the time. I love the fact that you go do that and then take time out of your own day to send them to us so I can go ahead and show them on TV. Thank you so much. But I will answer your question. Bardstown, you're looking about under 1 inch of snow. So thank you, Teresa, for that. Let's see. So Cheryl's asking about traveling to Lebanon, Kentucky tomorrow and come back Monday early afternoon. If you go tomorrow, I would say, I don't know where you're traveling from, so it's kind of hard. You kind of have to have your start point and your end point in order to see where that journey exactly takes you. But I would say by Sunday afternoon, the road should be fine. Once it's going to be cold, dangerously cold. If you want to, if your car breaks down quite often or isn't good in the cold, then you want to avoid that and you wait till Monday afternoon. You have nothing to worry about. Temperatures will be around 30. And obviously by then, with sun, those roads are not only going to be clear, but also drier. Okay, she's saying from Louisville. Gotcha. So, if you don't want to be in the cold on Sunday or risk driving in the cold, that's the only concern, but the snow will not be. So I'm going to leave that one up to you. The snow will be gone by that point in time, but it's just a matter if you want to go out with air temperatures in the teens and wind chills at or below 0. I like this. You're trying to finalize some weekend plans. I know it's Friday, and you probably want to get your weekend started. It's now 9:25, and that's kind of the cool thing about this is that we get to have a conversation where